up at retard o'clock in the spastic this morning. About 3-4 o'clock. Cat wouldn't let me sleep. Brain wouldn't let me sleep. I put pen to paper. To the Environmental Protection Agency Board and to Biosecurity Tasmania Head Office. Now, I know it is not good. It's not smart boxing. It's not intelligent battle or war tactics to telecast your punches or to tip off your adversary. But this isn't about getting mad. It might be a little bit about getting even, but it is most definitely about solving a problem. Now, I don't know if everybody has thought this through properly. My pattern brain doing what it does. To whoever is in charge of the persons in charge. We have a problem, a big problem, and it's going to get out of hand very quickly. As you should be fully aware, Burnie Council, in all their infinite idiocracy, have privatised the garbage collection services. Now, contracting what is publicly paid for in rates, rents and taxes. To Veolia. This has brought about the halving of collection from weekly to fortnightly. Now, please excuse my arrogance, but I am finding common sense to be a rare and finite commodity, so I will explain in detail. Where I live in Shorewell Park, the lowest socio-economic demographic area in Burnie, I would estimate around 45 to 55% of residents to have logistical means transport. Out of that, maybe half of these would have the means, trailer, utility, to transport rubbish. And then it's a case of budget affordability on top of costs of everyday life, since we are the only species stupid enough to create economic hierarchy, making the employed time poor and those who are unemployed fiscally delinquent. This one idiocratic decision of capital UN, sustainability has created a Pandora's box of epic proportions. The employed are now losing half of the weekend day, making a line-up excursion to the tip. That's one. Two, if the employed are working shift work or weekend overtime, they are forced to store rubbish for up to a month or when they can take that rubbish to the tip, whichever comes first. Those who have no means of logistics or finances to deal with this issue are accumulating rubbish to the point they are now burning it at night. I can attest to that. It's happening right next door. Not their fault. It is attracting wildlife and vermin/pestilence. As a reliable food source, winter is just around the corner and Shorewell is where the tip is. That no longer has landfill. Where do you reckon all the tip vermin and seagulls are coming? Into the suburbs, of course. Oh, that's 4. 5. People can't afford fines, and nor should anyone be challenged to fight them in for a disservice we already pay for, cluttering up the court time. 6. How long do you think it will take for people to start irresponsibly dumping of rubbish in parks, reserves and private skip bins? Yeah, shop owners, be prepared to be finding your skip bins full all the time. Don't blame the people. They're just trying to deal with rubbish that a problem the council's created. I have tried to address these issues with Burnie Council, but as usual, it's like dealing with the Muppet Show. It's kind of why I was so angry when I came home and found the new bins. And I didn't want them. We had a system that worked. I knew this was coming. The minute I rocked up and seen new bins in my driveway, out the front of my house, as soon as I rocked up, I looked at it and went, here we go. I knew this problem was going to happen straight away. Now I know it's creating wealth transfer from the public they pretend to serve through the tip gate, and a lot of data is being collected on every household that drives over the way platform by a number plate and facial recognition. But at what cost and to what end? Either this has been thought through very well with an agenda in mind, or they are all retarded. I would wager the aforementioned. Fix it. See, I don't know how many of you have thought this through, is the fact that you go to the tip now and there's all these cameras, you're parked in this long line, you're waiting on a weighbridge, and all your details are taken, how much your entire gross load weighed going in, and your tear weight coming out. With not just your number plates, but your faces on a camera. So every single household and the people in that car are having data collected on them on the average weight of their rubbish, what days they go to the tip, who's in the car. If you don't think all this data is going to a collection database, which of course it is, Oracle, Palantir, the 11-year Data Retention Act that Tony Abbott introduced, it started off as a 7-year Data Retention Act through Julia Gillard. Through them, they didn't actually do this, you know. Like they're just the faces you throw the rotten tomatoes at. Which is what cracks me up with the council. It's so hard, people pick on us, we'll get out of the job. If you don't want rotten tomatoes thrown at you, don't be the fucking target. Surely they're not that stupid to not know that that's all their job is. Because they make a promissory affirmation to the state, not an oath to the people. Surely that would be enough for you to go, hang on, why am I making a promissory affirmation to the government when I'm supposed to be serving the people? And the people aren't happy with this, and a lot of this legislature, it seems to be counterproductive to what I would want if I was one of the people. Perhaps this isn't the job that I thought it was. I don't accept that they're not intelligent enough to figure that out. I don't accept that premise whatsoever at all. Because why do you think so many people are so disgruntled and dismayed with council? The laziest bastards on earth, except now and then you'll get one. I know a bloke, I'm going to drop his name and tell you, he's the hardest working council worker I've ever seen. His name's Dave. He's on Parks and Reserves. Not this Dave, but I have worked with him. Every time you see him, he's fucking smashing it out. The painters do a good job at cleaning up graffiti and the mess around the place, but they don't move very fast. I know they can move faster because I used to be one of their managers at Woolworths. Hi Liam. I don't give a shit anymore. It's like that. Credit where it's due. Do the right thing. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm out in public, I'd like to think that when I'm out in public with my family, I'm not in any situation where something from 11 years ago can harass me via the police because my face was picked up on a camera somewhere from 11 years ago because I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Or this is what all the Data Retention Act is all about. The Data Retention Act, it's not just collecting that, it's collecting this, what we're talking about right now. It's collecting every email you send, or your text messages, or your phone calls, what websites you visit, everything. Somebody sends a text message to a wrong number and you get it. Now your input, or it could be, I just got on, mate, good gear too. Yeah, I'm going to say the words, I'm going to talk how it's spoken. Just got on, mate, good gear too, pop round any time. I've received messages like that back in the day. Text messages. Now all of a sudden, because you received a text message, a wrong number text message, you're implicated in a drug deal and you've got to prove yourself innocent. And you don't even know the guy. Oh, that's no problem. But it is. Why are you going to... I'm quite sure you've got better things to do with your time than to try and prove yourself innocent with the presumption of guilt based on nothing, based on a bit of data. Can you see what's being built in Burnie now? Can you see it? Where all this money's going? Why they're building a massive big courthouse at $86+ million, which we all know, since when ever in the history of anything ever, period, has anything government related ever come in on budget. That'll blow out to well over $100 million. That's a fucking lot of money for a courthouse, yeah? Everything. Right there. I've got a new one. I'm going to go through this later. Everything always has much more to meet the eye than what you realise. Biodata, our biological data, everything to do with us, data in general, is the new gold. It's the new oil. How? Wealth transfer. They will come after everyone for everything that they can think of that data nails them to. What happens when you put AI in charge of things? And that's what it is. You got Oracle, Palantir. This is a worldwide thing, the Western world, which is why I say we need to decouple from this bullshit, walk away from that foreign territory in Canberra, make them irrelevant, bring the territories back in line with the states, and we need to schmooze up to China, whether we fucking like it or not. Because America doesn't win this. See how something as little as rubbish is related to the top end of town on the other side of the world? Can you see it? Come on, people, you can't be that stupid. This isn't even conspiracy theory shit. This isn't even looking for something that's not there. This is smacking you in the face obvious. Surely you're not that calcified. What we have going on at the moment, we're about to have a big rug pull on a silver run. You know, the bank runs, we're about to have a silver run because it's a 356 to 1. 356 promissory notes, paper titles, to every ounce of silver. 300. That's 356 contracts, separate contracts to 1 ounce of silver. What do you think America went into Venezuela for? 850 metric tons of silver, and it wasn't there. Why? Because Venezuela paid a debt to China. There was only 3 metric tons of silver left. China cashed in on the Belt and Road Initiative. Venezuela knew America was coming. China got their money back. They invested in Venezuela. Venezuela was about to get nailed. We need to get paid out now. Why? Because China's not going to get sucked into a war on American soil or out in the Atlantic Ocean. America is trying to coax them out through the BRICS nations. Come out and play, come out and play. Because they know, America knows they don't have the legs and they don't have what it takes to get bottlenecked through the Panama Canal or anywhere like that. Isn't it amazing how rubbish collection through your local city council is related to global warfare over resources? This is my job. This is what I do. I raise my kids and I do this all day, every day. And I do it for you. I could go up the bush, right? I know farmers, I know people. Me and the kids could go and disappear tomorrow and we'd be done, we'd be gone. And live a better life than what you are. But I don't. And anyone that come after me would be sorry that they did. As you can see, I'm not as stupid as a lot of you think or thought that I was. And believe me, there's a lot more coming. How many of you are aware of the money laundering church in Burnie? You just need to fucking start making a racket, people. This Burnie is corrupt. This town is so corrupt. Everywhere from here to Smithton. Even further. I would say Devonport. Excuse me. From Devonport to Smithton, there is a syndicate running through a church. You see, when you get businesses that are members of a church who donate so much of their income to the church, and they seem to be so wealthy, you know, the big couple of super churches they got near the Don and Stony Rise area in Devonport. You see, you got these businesses and they donate money into these churches. Now they borrow money back from these churches and put it back into their business or their social life or whatever. Now they pay that money back in instalments on top of their percentage of their income. That's all tax redeemable. They minimise their taxes through the church and then borrow the money back to grow their businesses. And then the money that they pay back gets tax redeemable again. It's a never-ending cycle of wealth transfer from the public into the church. And it's all tax-free. Tax deductible, even. I've seen this with my own eyes. People, you need to start getting rowdy. Rowdy in the sense of walking away. I don't know why local members and local the Parliament, Council, the lot, I don't know why they're not jumping out the third story window to get away from a lynch mob. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm not trying to incite violence by any means. This is why I am trying to push the walk away #walkaway movement. Walk away from it. They want you to fight it. It's what they want. Because that's how they get control of you. We've got police walking around in the mainland with rifles now. How long do you think that comes here? They've already got their little magic fairy wands. And they're testing for more than metal too on your person. They're testing for metal in your person. Huh? What do you mean by that, Dave? Lipid nanotechnology. Graphene activated. Dead people 6 feet underground are emitting an RF frequency, a radio frequency. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's not crazy. Go get an RF tester and walk around the cemetery with it low to the ground. You'll start finding out who got the shots and who didn't. The vaccines. I'm not even joking, okay? This is being spoken about in parliaments all over the world, in governmental departments all over the world. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's medically proven, it's scientifically proven. You know, you got to trust the science. How does that relate to where you started with rubbish? Money's worthless. You know money is dead set worthless, right? Look at the food you're getting at the supermarkets. Look at the food we're buying. It's fucking garbage. It's absolute garbage. Potatoes are growing sprouts within a week in the cupboard. They're soft when you buy them. Tomatoes are bad. Everything's bad. Everything that we're getting is bad. That's all the stuff they used to throw away once. Now we're buying it. Where do you reckon the good stuff's going? This isn't an ethnic cleansing of a country. This is an ethnic cleansing of most of the human race. And people like me are a problem. A real problem. People who read books, people who know the gig, at least enough to be able to see what's coming as soon as it starts. I knew this problem was coming with the bins as soon as I come home and seen the bins. I didn't even know about that policy being put through, that legislature being put through with the council. I just come home and looked at the bins. I talked to the clowns walking around that were looking in everyone's bins and stuff. Like, within 10 minutes of me being home and asking a couple of questions around the place, I was like, what? Oh, is that what's going on? I knew all this was going to happen. That's why I went back down the council with the bins and threw them across the foyer to let them know I'm onto it. I wasn't meaning to upset the people downstairs behind the windows. Like, it's not their fault. They're as sick as two dead cats. Sorry, puss, I didn't mean to offend you. Thick as two short Victorians. Thick as two short local members. There we go. Thick as two short local members. Basically, what I'm saying is like, stop being polite to them. Because they're being condescending to you. They're treating you with contempt. I hate it when people patronise me and talk to me with condescension. They talk to you like you're stupid. Like you're a child. Oh, hate speech, you can't be talking like that. Well, I don't like being spoken to like that. I'm a fucking man, not a fucking mouse. Talk to me properly. I don't like the long, drawn-out, condescending conversation that tells me fuck all. See, if you drag words out and space them long enough, 2 sentences in, it stops making sense. But it sounds like they said something. And they put ums and ahs in between it all. It's a convoluted way of speaking to make you feel stupid. No, you're not stupid. They're purposely doing it. You're just not quick on the uptake to figure out that they're doing it, that's all. Doesn't make you stupid. Just means that you're probably a bit too trusting. You think that they're not all bad? Well, if they're not all bad, why isn't anybody blowing the whistle on anyone? We do not have one single member of council telling us about the private little property deals that they're doing between themselves and their mates. For example, the old Acton school. Ken Dorsey put in a tender on that. He offered more. Ken told me this himself. He offered more than what Steve Cons offered for it, but Ken got knocked back on it. Now, you can't tell me that there wasn't a game being played there where they was just trying to short the market, where Ken made a larger offer, but what he proposed was something that was never going to get passed through council, and he's a member of council, he would know this. It was never going to get passed through council. He wanted to make it a backpackers lodge for the Tongans. Right? He wanted to make it a backpackers lodge for the Tongans and for the homeless. Yeah. That was the proposal he put in. They knocked him back on that. And Steve Cons got the property and put the Acton support school in there, which is going to get closed down and moved to Penguin. So what's going to happen with that property now? Consy's already got it. He's already got it, and everything that went into that would have been publicly paid for because it was a public service. My son went there. Cost us nothing for him to go there. He's autistic, you see. So what's the property going to get used for now? What was the real intention in the first place? These are the questions you need to be asking. These are the calculations that you need to be thinking. Right, they bought this property and done that with it, but they made it a public service. So obviously the taxpayers paid for it. Now they're going to move it to Penguin? Well, that was the plan all along. There is no plan B. That's just the pathway to the plan A. Geez, it wouldn't happen to be hostile accommodation for the military, would it?